Hello everyone, it's Marlene from Pastime Pieces for another floss tube. Boy, this is a couple in a row, but I've been in Florida for the last 3 weeks and boy, is it nice being able to stitch in the sun. Now it's been cool, we've only had 50s and 60s here. But for the most part, the sun has come out every day, and so I can sit on our deck and it's kind of sheltered a little bit, and the sun's out, and it's just been, yeah, like just fabulous. I could just get so much more stitching done just because of having natural light. It's been great. We, yeah, came just before New Year's. And I just thought, well, I'm going to do a floss tube because, yeah, I took so many projects with, and those are the ones I worked on. So it's, I don't have to go running around to find everything. So before I pack it up, because we leave tomorrow, but that's the way it is. Yeah, in a couple of weeks, my daughter is in England, is expecting their first baby. So I'll be home for a couple of weeks, and then I will fly to England to help out with the baby and to see the baby. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl or anything like that. So they had a little pool going of family to see, yeah, what the weight and the date and all that stuff is. So, but I want to welcome everyone to my floss tube. It's mostly cross stitch, but at this time I got to do a few other little projects too, so I thought it would be fun to show you some of that too. Yeah, it's kind of been like a sequestering thing. You know, we've met a few friends down here, but for the most part, we're just here to relax and stay in our house and enjoy the little warmer weather. I guess it's freezing cold back home, so we'll have to, yeah, just hunker down and stay warm somewhere. I'll put the number of what floss tube it is below. It's January 18th today, I believe. So yeah, just mid-January. So first of all, I'm going to show you a couple starts and finishes, actually. Yeah, that was the other nice thing, was there's a cross stitch shop. Too bad it wasn't closer. It's about a couple hours from here in Silver Springs, Ocala, Florida. But they have a group that comes to stitch on Wednesday. So a couple weeks, not last week, not this past week, but the week before, I went and spent the day stitching with some of the women there. It's Brick City Stitchers is what the group is. And yeah, it was just, yeah, it was so nice to spend some time with some other cross stitchers. That particular shop, the owner is retiring, so the shop is going to be closed as of April. Which is unfortunate. A lot of the women were, yeah, kind of sad about that because there aren't any other cross-stitch shops close by in the area. So they're hoping that someone's going to purchase it yet. But yeah, we will see. But it was really nice to meet those women. The week before, I spent some time with a group as well on a Friday. They were mostly knitters. There was one other lady doing some cross stitch, but they were mostly knitters. But that was nice to meet them as well. I just didn't want to get too bored, kind of just always, I mean, I enjoy being by myself just because I have so many hobbies and stuff, I guess. But yeah, my husband golfs quite a bit, so I thought, okay, I do need to get out a little bit and get some exposure to some people. Otherwise, it might, yeah, just get to be a little too lonely and too quiet. So the first project that I started and worked on, and this is actually one of the 12 by 12 that I was going to do last year, and it didn't happen. So it is, I got it on Etsy. It's Do You See What I See? It's very primitive. And it is by Primitive Stitchin' by Shelley On. I don't know if you can see that there, but that's the pattern. And this is what I stitched it on. So it's, yeah, super cute. I know the fabric is Atomic Ranch. I've got everything out of their bag, so I probably have the slip of paper in there. I don't know if it's Stormy something, but I love Atomic Ranch fabric. This is 32, I believe, but it's really tight. So I started off just with one strand. So I guess a lot of it is one over two, but the snow I did 2/2, just because it needed a little bit more distinction. So, but that is called Do You See What I See? So love that. So I'll probably put it in a little frame. I don't think I'll put this one in a pillow. I'll probably put it in a little frame, but I love that song, Christmas song. So yeah. Then the other, oh, don't tell me I've got everything all messed up already. My other start and finish, I don't see right now. Let me just flip through. I'll have to grab it if I don't see it. It might be on the ironing boards. Well, just 1 second. Nope, not there. So this will be my typical floss tube that isn't in any particular order. It'll be somewhere in these piles. Okay, so then another Christmas type thing. I was working, I don't have the booklet here, but it was Annie B's 12 Days of Christmas, the stockings. I had done 1 and 2 already at home, so I wanted to get some more done. So this one's not fully finished yet, but this is number 3. Now, one thing I checked and double checked, because it's suggested 14 count Ada, and I'm doing 2/2. But the stockings I finished at home, I don't think are this big. Like, it's not big, but I think the ones I did at home are tinier, so I may have done those on 16 count. I'll have to check, because I know I checked a bit with the Ada to get a black enough one, because the other 2 is on a really saturated black, and some of the Ada that I had was almost kind of a duller, faded out, washed kind of black, so I wanted them all to match. So I thought, okay, sometimes just getting started is what works for me to continue on. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to take each of them and I'm at least going to put the number on them. So I'm hoping to do at least 1 a month so that I will have all 12 done. And that's because the design finishes off. Have them done by next year. They stitch up pretty quick, but this is where the outdoor stitching really makes a difference, because I could really stitch more. I just got distracted on some of the other projects and ended up stitching on those. So, but those are the 12 days of Christmas. So yeah, I'll finish them off. There's some beading, some pearls and some red little beads that go on there, which makes it really cute. And then she finished it off with some kind of like a chenille trim around the top. So I need to, yeah, get those. I'll probably wait till I got them all stitched, and then I'll just finish them all at the same time. I know the other 2 that I did finish beading them already as well. Okay, so that's that. So this one also I had started last year for 12 by 12. It is the Heartstring Sampler Be Mine Biscornu, and I had seen Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. She had finished it, and I thought, I love that. Like, it's so pretty, dainty. Yeah, just a nice Valentine finish or an anytime finish. So I started it, and I got a little ways, but yeah, not that much. So then, yeah, when I picked it up, yeah, I just thought, okay, I'm on a roll. I'm going to keep on going. And so I was able to get the top finished. So that is the top. So yeah, it's on 30, I stitch almost everything on 32, but this one again, I have to look at my notes. When I fully finish it, I'll give you more of the details of what it was stitched on, but it's just white linen. Let me see if it says on the back here. Yeah, it doesn't say what count. 36 count. So it could be that I used 36 count white linen, but love that. So I've just started doing the outside border to make it into a biscornu. So I just got to measure. I counted my stitches, but it still looks bigger than the other piece. So I want to do a measurement with a ruler, and then maybe I'll feel a little more confident that I've got the sides equal. So yeah, so that one, and I love finishing it up to this point because then when I get home, like I can just pick this up and think, oh yeah, I just got to finish this, and then can whip that one off. So I do like getting things to this stage, and then I can just finish it. So I like that idea. This was, I believe I took this one with too and was going to do 12 by 12. There's a whole set of these. So Bent Creek has a whole bunch of series of snapper. So they're designs that have little snap domes that she uses for embellishments. And then there's I'm doing all of them on one piece, and there's a border around it, and it has snaps as well. I had done throughout the year, I think it was called, so there was one for each season. So this is just one of 6 or 7 that I'm doing in a row, but it's a Snapper Ville series. So they're super fun. I started probably in the late 1980s or early 1990s. And it's, yeah, been sitting there. Now, I must have seen the sample done because I bought the fabric and a lot of the floss at, there used to be a show in Toronto called Creative Festival. And so there was a cross-stitch shop there, and so I must have seen the sample because it's done on, I did find a note that it was R&R Nantucket. Now I said I've never seen Nantucket anywhere, and I put in my request to my supplier that if they ever got any Nantucket from R&R, if they could throw it in my shopping cart. So because, yeah, it's kind of a faded blue to pink, and it just looks really nice for scenery, things like this. And I must have seen it done, otherwise I never would have even thought to buy this fabric. So this is the Snapper Ville. So I've got bits and pieces left to do in each block, but I didn't take the threads with me. I thought they were all in the bag, but I'm missing a few. But I got quite a bit accomplished on this. The last block at this end and the other one, I hadn't done the border yet, and it needed bark, and I couldn't get bark at the cross-stitch shop, and I thought I was out, and then I did find some in my bag, but I think it's a little bit darker than the other bark, but I thought your eye tends to go onto the seam rather than the outside border. But this is 32 count Nantucket, and the patterns are, I like that block, anything with a barn. Oh, looks like I'm missing something there. everything shows up more on camera than it does when you're looking at it, but there's something wrong with that door. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. But yeah, super cute. So each one of those is like a little finish. So I'm getting really, really close, except that I got to do the border all here around the outside. So I thought, oh, I'm almost done, but that shouldn't take too long. It has a little poem kind of like thing around the outside, which is really, really nice. So I do want to finish it like that and put it in a long frame. So that was another 12 by 12, I believe I had on my list to do. Then I thought, oh, I should start a few things. So I've always wanted to do this Artful Offerings pattern, flower garden. I just think it's so dainty and so cute. So I did start at the beginning of January. I guess, I don't know if I'll get it done the end of January, because otherwise it could be considered a blessing sampler. I know lots of people are doing a blessing sampler, but I just love the colors and stuff. So this is on 36 count Milk and Honey by Fabric Flair, and I'm doing 1/1. So I don't do a lot of 1/1. I like the more concentrated color and the texture, but this works really well on this particular fabric, and the colors show up really well. They are DMC colors, so nothing that's too difficult to find. So yeah, this goes very quickly. So when I get home, I'll keep this one out to work on because I love working on it, but I did put it aside so that I could get some of my other projects finished. So yeah, so that is Artful Offerings. Then just today I thought, oh, I brought this with, so I wanted to do this too. I don't know if it was on my 12 by 12 for last year, but I thought, well, can't get anywhere if you don't start. So I thought I'm just going to pull it out and start it. And it's more just because I love this fabric. This is Stream by Fiber on a Whim. So I started it, and then it says to use charcoal. Well, my charcoal's kind of brown. And I thought, well, I guess a bee could be brown, but I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those things that bugged me. So I think I'm going to have to do it again and pull out a black, because it just looks nice and stark there with the black and the pink. And yeah, that just... So it is 30, I think I said it was 36 count. Yeah, I am doing 2/2. I will see. And I mean, it's tight, but it still works. So I'll probably stick with the 2 strands just because I think I want it to have texture so that it sticks up above the linen. But I do think I'm going to change that back to do it over and make it black instead, because it is pretty stark black there. So yeah, that's the part of threads and how much they change, because yeah, charcoal, you just think, yeah, charcoal is black, but mine is definitely a dark brown. So yeah, I should have taken a look at the picture a little more closely before I started stitching, but I'm not too far, so that will work out. So that's another thing I thought, okay, at least I've got it started. So that's another stitching. Now, where in the world did I haven't come across my other start and finish. Another one that oh, there it is. I'll just show you this one that I started this one too. Oops. I think I had this on my list for 12 by 12 last year too. It's all these little birdie told me series by Under the Garden Moon, I believe is the name of the company. Amy McClellan. I'm pretty sure it's yeah, Under the Garden Moon. So there's a whole series of these little bird charts. They come in wool too, so I've done them in the wool. The glare is not too bad, looks pretty good here. These patterns now all come in one, so I have them in the shop. There's the individual ones, but I do also have them all in one pattern. So I am stitching these on 36 count flax, that's the called for, and it uses DMC, but nope, I just used DMC. But I didn't have the blue or the pink in my bag, so I will finish that up. And then I didn't realize that I thought, oh, I can get more out of this, the piece that I had. So I thought, oh, I'm just going to make a pillow out of it, so I'll cut it. Well, I didn't realize there was a border around there. I mean, it's too late now. I cut it too short, but it doesn't really need a border. I may put some fabric around it to make them all into little pillows, because I think it'd be cute to have like a bird display. But those are fun and quick, easy stitches. I've got quite a few different things from Under the Garden Moon. I really love her stuff. She does quite a bit of wool as well, and I will show you a little punch needle thing that I've kind of worked on a little bit too. That's from her. So then the next start and finish that I did was Shelter from the Storm. This is Scattered Seeds samplers. This one's Shelter from the Storm with the little rabbits underneath the mushroom. I've got all the charts set aside because I really would love to do at least one a year. I've done Sweet Sampler Pin Keep, I think it is, and I love that one, and I love them all. So I would like to, have a goal of making at least one of her Pin Keep series, one a year. But I decided that I wanted that toadstool mushroom to be red, which is kind of the folk artish kind of look to it. So that's what I did. I made it red. I think it's Cherry Cobbler that I used. This is Vintage Country Mocha 32 count. I believe it's 32 count. 32 count. The only thing is this is pretty stark white, so I may antique it when I get home, or just kind of brush some tea on there just to kind of darken that up a little bit, because I don't know, it just looks not quite rustic enough. It's and the floss, I think it was Eggshell, Classic Colorworks Eggshell, doesn't have a lot of variegation in it. So yeah, I would have changed that out probably if I had noticed that sooner. But yeah, I love that. Again, I'm wondering if I forgot to finish off that row there. I'll have to check. Yeah, it must be, because that looks a little funny. So there's some some homework to do to finish up some of these little bits and pieces that show up on camera. I chose not to put the wording on top because the other one doesn't have wording, and I'll have to look at some of the other charts, but I may choose not to put the wording on, mostly because I felt that the font, I didn't particularly like the font of the writing for the piece. So I could change it and find a different font, but I like it just like this. I don't think it needs the words. So yeah, this is Shelter from the Storm by Scattered Seed. So that was another start and finish that I did while I was here. Okay, so, and then I'm not sure if I showed this when I did my last floss tube, because this was a start I did in November maybe. And it was the Pennsylvania Christmas Deer. So I took this as well. It's on Aztec Red, 36, no, I think it's 32 count that I'm doing. And I'm using just sulky white for it. So I took it with, but I didn't really get much more accomplished on that. But I'm loving how it turns out. It's definitely bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's a big pillow. So that's where the difference of doing 36 count, although it wouldn't have made it that much smaller. But yeah, a nice easy stitch. It's pretty easy to follow. And I love doing things with one thread. It's definitely a nice change when you're stitching. Okay, so then what else have I been working on? I worked on, I seen Celeste Creates. Celeste Creates, I'm trying to find the cover page. But she made, or was going to, with her daughter, make these little velvet strawberries. And I had seen them before, and I thought, oh, I love those. And I thought, okay, that's something like, it's a little bit different, and it would be just a nice craft to do. So I bought it when we were in Florida in November, but I didn't work on it. And I kind of knew I wasn't going to, so I knew I would kind of get around to it here. They are the cutest little things. So they're little velvet strawberries. And then you fold ribbon and make them into these little petals, or the catalyst. And then put some beads with some sequins in the center. And then these are all sequins and beads around the strawberry, and she gives you everything you need. Like, so there was sand in there, so you fill about 2/3 full of sand, and then the rest with some polyfill, which I had an old pillow here that I keep for stuffing. So yeah, so I was able to make these up. Fun, not difficult per se, but fiddly. They're tiny. So you need some fingernails or something to kind of hold. I may try to make one strawberry that's a little bit bigger and find some ribbon that's a little bit bigger and do the gathering, because they are very tiny, and you have to put kind of like a gathering stitch in all the little petals, leaves there. So this is another one. So you get 5 altogether. So they're all different colors. We'll see if I can find the name here. So this one's a little bit more of an orangey one. And then it has just a little different color ribbon. And then she tells you how to make the little cord there. And then the little beads. But they are so cute. Just super, super cute. And then this is more of a deeper rose color with an olivey and then just kind of a brassy color bead. Yeah, so you can hang them. I put them in, I've got this little basket with some artificial plants in it here in the house. So I tucked them in there for now. I'm gonna remember to take them home though. So, and some I got carried away with putting a lot of beads and sequins on. I don't know, she tells you how many to put on, but I was just kind of, so this one's like, he's definitely bespeckled. And that's the ribbon for top. So super fun, just a craft that, I normally wouldn't probably always take the time to do, but here I've got time to work on this, and so it was fun. And it was stuff I could do like when I'm watching TV or or whatever. So I'll show you what I stuck them all in here. So I have this little basket. So this, I took pictures of it. I don't know if you can see. I just stuck them in there. But yeah, that was fun. So I'd like to do some more of that. So I got my cover page went to, it's Mary Jo Heine Designs. I don't know if you can see it right on the bottom there. It'll focus. There, focus. And then she has like a step-by-step video online even how to do it. So that was helpful to kind of follow along with her. But they're just called Velvet Strawberries by Mary Jo Heine, Hiney Designs. And I think if it just typed in Velvet Strawberries kit or something, it shows up. So yeah, so that was super fun. Then I was going to teach in the shop a rope bowl making class, and I have made rope bowls before. That's when you took the rope and you wrapped fabric around it, and then you had to glue it and keep going, and it had more of a raggedy look. But these were, I thought, oh, I just like the plain white rope. And so I thought I better make a couple samples and make sure that I know how to do it. So when I teach the class, I know what I'm talking about. So this one, yeah, I put the little handles here and then just finished off the end of the rope and made it into a little decorative thing here. I used, I have a book that I have in the shop as well that, you know, how to make a rope bowl. But one package of, I think, 100 feet made this one. And I made this one. So with just the a braided top. Super, I mean, they're very easy. You can see that it kind of has a little dip there. So for the oval ones, they're definitely a little harder to keep nice and straight there when you're doing a long strip. But there's lots of tips and tricks of how to go about that. So as long as you've got a sewing machine that has a zigzag, that's all you need, and it just sews right through it. And just regular, I just used regular white thread. And yeah, I think super fun to make. Now I just made a little sample of how to get started, but yeah, you can make trivets and hot pads and, you know, just placemats, just doing it just continuously in a circle. But lots of fun. That was fun. That was one thing that my husband even says, like, hey, those are pretty cool. He doesn't usually comment on too many of the things that I'm making. So yeah, I hope to offer a class. Let me know if you're interested. If you live, I guess I didn't really say where I'm from. In case you're new, I live in Blenheim, Ontario. We're in southwestern Ontario, so between just by the Great Lakes. So we're Lake Erie, about an hour from Detroit, between Windsor and London equally. So Chatham, you might be more familiar with. So that's where we live. And then we do spend a little bit of time here. We have a house in Florida in Davenport, which is about 15 minutes from Disney. Not that we go to Disney that much or can afford it. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness we did all that when my kids were younger, because it didn't seem that expensive or crazy busy and stuff. So, but yeah, we've had a house here for about 13 years. So spend a little bit of time here. We used to rent it out. Our other house, we rented out quite a bit. We do rent this house out as well, if anyone's interested. But yeah, with our kids and now a lot of the winter January months, January, February, March are pretty well taken up with friends and family. But yeah, if you're planning on coming during the summer or whatever, just send me an email and I'll set you up with some dates and prices and things. So this is my time when we'll close the shop for a few weeks in January. and I can just kind of recoup. And it's usually when I do all my inventory, I get all the sheets done beforehand, and then I do all the reconciling and stuff on here. But we did such a major inventory last year that I decided to lax off on it a little bit this year, because we kind of changed the program so it keeps more accurate amounts anyways. And I didn't want to always think like my 3 weeks were going to be taken up with just doing inventory every time. So I thought this is my chance to do some other little fun things. So yeah, so that was something else I worked on. And then I've been promising for a while that I'm going to do a punch needle class. So I thought, okay, I got to get my skills going here again with some punch needle. And so this one I was just working on just because I wanted to work on it just for a class. But I just drew out a heart and put a little flower there. And so I'm just kind of working on this as a little sample. And this I'm using the Ville number 8 Pro Cotton for this one, just because it has some variegation and I kind of like that. But this one I used the Lori Holt chunky yarn, so we have some of it in the shop, a few colors. So I wanted to try the chunky yarn to see how well it punched and just what did I have to change in order to use the yarn. And then I just kind of, fold it. So I'll put some wool felt behind there, and it can be like a little ornament for a tree. So this one was with the yarn. This one was with the Ville number 8 Pearl Cotton. So you can see the variegation in here. And I really enjoyed working with the Pearl Cotton. It's thinner, so you have to do more rounds, but I like the look. I know that a lot of the places are doing a lot with the yarn, probably because it's quick and easy, but I can't say that that's my favorite. And it's pretty thick, so I find that it's hard on my shoulders and my arms even to do any punch needle, so you do have to take breaks fairly often. But I like the finer look. So this hasn't been pulled around, like this has to be glued to the back and then finished off. But that was another one. And then this one was using 6 strands of embroidery thread. So just DMC or whatever. I mean, this is a great thing to use if you've got a lot of embroidery floss maybe got handed down from someone that you maybe don't even know what the numbers are or know what brand it is. It doesn't matter for punch needle, and it works great. So I would say the embroidery floss and the Ville are my favorite to work through. And I think there's different names, like I think they call this fine punch needle, and then the other one is more like heading towards rug and heavier punch needle. But that was lots of fun to play around with. So this class I will definitely be doing. Going home on we leave tomorrow, Sunday. And I got a birthday party with my twin grandsons. So the following Thursday, if you watch the website, I'll have it posted on there, and I'll post it on Facebook as well. So I'll probably offer it on the Thursday and the Saturday, and then we'll see how many people sign up, and if one or the other works better, then I'll put them all into one date, but I'll give the option of 2 dates to start with. So yeah, if you're interested in learning punch needle, Now you do need the punch needle, and the ones that I like are the Ultra Punch. And it comes with different needle tips, so you need the heavier one for the yarn, the cotton yarn, and then the finer one for the embroidery floss in the Ville. And then you definitely need a Morgan hoop. The wood hoops, you just can't get them tight enough because you need it to be like tight. You hear people say like tight as a drum. And this one really grabs, and you just keep pulling and pulling and pulling and tightening until you get it super tight, because each time you punch, like, it does put pressure on it, and once it loosens up, then you can't get your stitches consistent or anything. It's just popping and, you know, all bunched and loosening up. So there is some cost to buying the right equipment to get started. So that will be also on the website. Okay, so that was my punch needle. Now, my very first punch needle project I ever started, which was craziness. I guess I did a little Brenda Gervais at one time. Had punch needle projects. So years and years and years ago, when I was at Creative Festival, I must have bought a little one of hers. I can't find it. I found the pattern, but I can't find my piece, and I know I didn't finish it. But then I just ended up getting this one a few years ago, and thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna start that one. This is a major big project to start for punch needle. But I'm working on it, so this is how far I've gotten. In this one, I've stretched on these stretcher bars, which I didn't buy quite big enough stretcher bars. I needed to go at least another couple inches wider. But you just staple it on there, and you get it, really super tight. And it's kind of easy to just, put on your lap and shove it up against your belly and just kind of punch away. But this one's got a lot of punching, so it's coming, but it's still got a ways to go. And I would have finished the inside here, but I ran out of that thread. And this is all 6 strands of DMC. And this pattern, I guess I didn't say who the pattern was. It's by Threads That Bind. And she's got some other patterns. So Threads That Bind, Lori Holt is the ones that's brought out some patterns with the yarn. And then Primitive Gatherings, I think, has some punch needle. And there's a few out there. But actually, you can take kind of any simple line drawing and, punch it and make it, your own. And then we do it on weaver's cloth. It has to be on a very tight weave cloth, because as you punch, then the threads grab your yarn or your embroidery thread, and then that's what holds it in. And otherwise, if you use something thinner or whatever, you're just going to punch holes in it. It's just going to break the threads. So having the right products and stuff really makes a difference. So that, it'll be really pretty when it's done. This is Under the Garden Moon. So this is the one I had talked about. She had done the cross-stitch bird series. So these are punch needle too. So she's just did some punch needle here and then put it on some stems and made some flower. So I did punch one of them. That's as far as I got. And then, I'm going to read up of how she finished it, and then you can just put them in a little vase. But something different, maybe you don't want to do a big punch needle project. So you can just do a few little designs and, stick them onto something or put them on the wires and make them into a little bouquet. So, and they've got quite a few punch needle patterns each time coming out too. So, because this is days of summer, but then they have days of autumn, days of winter, and days of spring, I believe. So, but so another company to look at. So so that was super fun. And then I've been working on, for wool applique, I've been working on these little gingerbread houses. So this is by Calico Patch Designed. So it's wool applique, and then it's got some beading and some buttons. And there's four gingerbread houses. And so they're all cute kind of as a set. So I almost finished one. Oh, you'll have to ignore the threads and stuff that are on there. So I just got to finish. I had to get the right size beads. Some were too big, some were too small. So I think I've got the right size beads now. So I'm going to finish these off. So while I was here, I did get the rest prepped. So I've got them all prepped, and if I don't have to drive too much home, then I can get some stitching done in the car. I think I had mentioned before, it's like we split it. My husband drives 2 hours, I drive 2 hours. He drives 2 hours, I drive 2 hours. So yeah, sometimes when it's my 2 hours, I want to sleep. Now he does drive more than me. Like, he'll start off driving a good chunk of 4 hours or whatever, but then after that we tandem so that we can just keep driving straight home and get home in about 17 hours. So 17, 18 hours, depending on the traffic and the weather. So yeah, so I've got those prepped, so I can, maybe work on that a little bit in the car, because I can't cross stitch in the car, or even, I did do some punch needle, but I can't do it, like I said, for a long time, or my upper arms, I think when you get more used to it, you relax a bit more, but now I'm concentrating on punching all the way down, and you got to move it, like just kind of slide and punch again. So I think I'm a little bit tense when I'm doing it. So yeah, I got to take lots of breaks, or I'm gonna not be able to lift my arms. And so then I did some sewing, some quilting as well. I do have a fabulous quilter that quilts does most of my samples. But I do, like to do some once in a while too, especially like if it's applique, because I really like doing applique. So the first one, this is also Under the Garden Moon, and she always has this hanging on her door at the Needlework Nashville Market, because she doesn't bring kits or anything for these, because it's mostly cross stitch and punch needle and wool applique, anything embroidery wise, but she always has this hanging on the door, and I love it. And so I brought the patterns into the shop, but I never really made a sample myself. So I thought, okay, this is something piddly that, I can work on here, and I can lay it on one of the beds upstairs, because since it's been cooler here, furnaces and things don't work the same as at home. Often they, only work so much above what the outdoor temperature is. And so downstairs it can be kind of cool, and then of course heat rises, so upstairs it's toasty warm. So we had an old desk in one of our storage closets, so I just said, like, okay, let's put that desk upstairs, and it's so nice and toasty warm up there, so especially in the mornings I could go up there and sew away, and then I've got like all the beds to lay it out on so that I can, get everything in the right order. So this is Tessy, and I don't know if you can see, but this is completed. Now, I didn't make it I didn't make it scrappy really at all. It would be really pretty and stuff if you make it scrappy, but I kind of decided at the last minute. And this is a new fabric line that we just got, not the orange and the purple, but the greens, the yellows, the blues. It is called Wolf and Warp, I think by Riley Blake, and then the whites too. And I just thought, oh, this would look really cute in that pattern. So I just did fat eighths, and I had plenty to make this little wall hanging. So it needs a border yet, and then Joyce will do her magic and quilt it, and it'll be super cute. Now, each one of these needs a little circle to kind of cover that over. That is a small piece to applique. It's tricky when you're trying to do sewing machine. So I might see if I can find some buttons, and I thought it'd be cute just to sew buttons on each of these in place of that little, I don't know what you call it, as far as, I don't know my plant biology anymore. But I thought that might be cute to just put buttons there, so I'm going to try that when I get home. But I was really pleased to get all the applique and stuff done for that one, so I love that. Then that same fabric line, if you're a quilter, everyone knows about the pattern Duck Goose. He's so cute. This is the mini version. There's also a much larger quilt with the blocks and stuff too, but he's just, really cute. It is by Megs and Me. I love all her patterns and stuff. She has some adorable quilt patterns. She's, I believe, I don't know, from Australia, but somewhere anyways, far away. And so I thought, oh, this would be cute. And because that new line had lots of navies in it, I thought, oh, this would work really good. Because don't always when I make a quilt sample for the shop that's baby, often I will try to make it gender neutral if I can. So this one I feel like it could go either way. Sure, it's blue, so maybe it's more boy, but you could always add some other things in here, or you can make the flowers pink or whatever. So I took that same fabric line, Wolf and Warp, and made, now I'll just show you, because I didn't sew it totally all together, I'll just show you some of the blocks. So there's one of the blocks, and then there's some embroidery, so they have written duck, and then the flowers have stems and stuff. So that's one of the blocks. Oh, they're so cute. We don't know, like I said, whether our daughter's having a girl or a boy, so their theme is more woodland and that, but it would be just a quilt to lay on the floor, but yeah, they're so cute. And this is another little bigger section, but I thought these fabrics all suited this quilt pretty well. And then there's a few little pinwheels, so for the most part it's an easy quilt if you know how to applique. And then this is the goose, so all the rest were ducks, and this is the goose. Now, because he had cream fabric, he didn't really show up very well, so I thought, okay, I could change him to a different color. And then I thought, well, I'm going to try just appliquing him in blue thread first. So I think he turned out okay, and you can see him pretty good, but he's got nice long legs. And so that is Duck Goose. So I'll finish that up and send that off to Joyce. Joyce also is making a quilt using this fabric, and they're like flower baskets. So she sent me a picture, and it's looking like super, super nice. And so we'll show that on my regular business Facebook page. Now, I was listening to a Flosstube person, and I want to say that it was Missy, but I don't really know if that's her Flosstube name. But she was showing her whips, and so she showed one that she was working on. Oh, I don't have the pattern here, but I didn't start it anyway, so I'll show it next time. It's a Nora Corbett, and I thought, there will never be a time that I do a Nora Corbett, but this one was so cute. It was called Wiggles and something, but it was two kids doing snow angels in the snow. And so it was just, I couldn't resist. So I did buy that chart to work on. And so, I'm doing really well as far as some of my whips and things go. I'll have to look through my, I have kind of like a footstool type thing that has a lid that opens, and I just throw everything in there. But yeah, I got to go through and see what other whips I have that I can maybe knock out and get finished. But I just wanted to show, what I had worked on. I'm really pleased at how much I got done. And it was great. I mean, just the opportunity to just stitch all day and and do some sewing and that, without any distractions. I probably could have cleaned the house or stay on top of it because we don't really expect too many people here. I'm not going to have someone drop in. I don't have to worry about that. So and then someone will come in and clean it after we're gone. And that's a true holiday. That and not cooking for me anyways. But thank you so much for sharing this time with me. I had fun with this, and I hope some of it inspires you to, pull out some other crafty type things and let me know, what other things you like to work on that, maybe is something old but new again. But for now, I'll say goodbye and thank you. If you're interested, it'd be nice if you could subscribe, and then we will see you next time. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.